UX questions. Your user experience questions answered in 3 minutes or less.
Lucas from Amsterdam asks, how do I practice empathy in UX design? I love that question. Thanks for asking, Lucas. This is UX question number 75, and I'm Ben Judy. How do I practice empathy in UX design? Well, Bill Buxton said, the best products are born from a deep empathy with the people who use them. Back in episode 2, I began my definition of UX design by saying, build empathy with your users. Empathy is foundational to our work, but how do we do it? I've got 5 tips to get you started. 1. Understand what empathy is. I think most people believe that empathy is something like feeling what others feel, but it's a nuanced topic. There are different types of empathy: emotional, cognitive, and compassionate. The meaning of the English word empathy has changed over the years. It's worth some study to form a solid understanding of what it is before you try to practice it as a UX designer. Tip number 2, be aware of your biases. Our natural human tendency to be biased is an empathy blocker. Designing around your bias starts with awareness. Go back to episode 45 for more on that. Tip number 3, observe how users interact with products in their natural environment. If your understanding about how users feel is from second-hand accounts, removed from their actual context of use, your ability to build empathy is limited. Nothing beats seeing a person's facial expressions and body language, and hearing their tone of voice in the time and place where they typically interact with your designs. Most of my moments of true emotional connection with users happened when I stepped away from my laptop, got out of the office, and spent time with users. Tip number 4, practice the tools of the trade. Good user research methods, personas and persona spectrums, user journey maps, empathy maps. All these things we create and use in our work exist to help us build empathy into the UX design process. Become a master of these techniques. Mastery only comes through practice. Tip number 5, try out the product yourself. It is shocking how often UX designers begin a project without spending any time or hardly any time using the product they're designing for. If you don't know how you feel about it, it's not possible for you to contextualize how other people feel about their own experience with the product. These are just 5 tips from me. Many UX experts have shared their tips for practicing empathy. Indy Young's book, Practical Empathy, is a good read. Check the description for links to other UX books and articles. Keep asking your questions about UX. Next time, I'll answer the question, what is conversation design? Hey, it's Ben Judy. Thanks for listening to another episode of UX Questions. I invite you to support UX Questions on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UXQuestions. For the price of a cup of coffee or 2 each month, you can become part of the UX Questions community, and you can earn different perks at each level of support. Patreon members get a free sponsorship spot or personal message placed at the end of an episode. You can join live group Q&A chats with me and other members. You can get early access to new videos and podcasts as soon as editing is finished. Plus, you can get direct access to download the full video and audio library of UX Questions content. And there's so much more. I really appreciate your membership support through Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UXQuestions and start your membership today.